welcome to my craft room. Before we get started, be sure that you are following me over on Instagram, Corinne_Blackstone Crafts. I post lots of fun tips, tricks, and hacks over there that I don't really share here on YouTube. I would love to have you following me there, so be sure to check it out. Now, in today's video, we are going to be talking all about layering HTV. Let me know in those comments down below if you have layered HTV before and if you have struggled. I know when I first started, I was really afraid to layer it. I didn't understand it, and I wasn't just sure how it worked and if it would work. So this video is going to help guide you along into layering HTV. Now, this is definitely a video that is geared towards beginners, but I think that it's going to help out anyone who is into HTV, whether you are an expert or a beginner. There are going to be lots of great tips and tricks along the way to help you create a successful project. We're going to do two different ones. We're going to do this little sunflower on this cute little pouch, and then we're going to do this adorable little cow on a t-shirt. So this is going to show you a couple of different ways to layer, and we're going to do a 2-layer project and then a multi-layer project so that you can pick up all of the great ways that you can make sure all your HTV projects come out successful and amazing. So let's get started.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
We're going to be working with two types of images so that I can give you an idea of some ways that you can work with layering for your HTV. There's a couple different ways to do it, and these two images are going to give us just some quick little overviews on how these images work and what you need to look for when you're using an SVG for layering. So the first image we have here is our sunflower. Now this one is in perfect condition. We don't need to do anything to it. And the way we can tell that is by looking at our layers. What you'll see is that you have 2 layers under the main layer because this is grouped. So you have the layer which is your yellow petals and the layer which is the black background. So we don't need to touch this one at all other than to resize it for whatever we're putting it on, which I'm still not sure what I'm putting it on just yet. So we're gonna just leave that one kind of to the side and play with it in a little bit. So I'll just go ahead and show you the 2 little pieces here. So you'll see here I have this black piece and the yellow piece. Now occasionally Design Space does weird things with your design and it will just move things kind of crazy. But this is our sunflower, so you can see the 2 separate pieces. I'm gonna slide that over just because we don't need it right now because we're gonna focus on our cow. So the cow's a little bit different, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click Make It so that I can show you what happens if we don't do the steps that I'm gonna teach you. So I'm gonna click on the word Make It. And what I'm gonna show you here is what happens if you don't do the next steps, which we're gonna teach. So you'll see here that I have these dots all in a line, and then I have the sunflower, obviously, and then this is the black part of the cow. But then we also have the pink part of the cow, which is all kind of like, doesn't make sense. You can see it was supposed to be a bow. Now, you could technically layer like this if you wanted to, but it's a pain, it takes forever. It's harder to lay stuff down. So what I'm gonna do is show you how to make sure that your designs don't turn out like this crazy disaster. So go ahead and click Cancel, and it's gonna take us back to our main screen. I'm gonna select my cow, and what you're gonna see is that we have group up here written down because our design is grouped, meaning that Cricut Design Space is going to hold it together so that when we size it or we move it, everything goes together and doesn't come apart. So in order to fix this issue, the first thing that we need to do is to choose the ungroup option. And what that's going to do is it's going to take all of our pieces and pretty much make them separate parts. With the exception of now, there are groups inside of our group. This is where it can get a little bit confusing for you new people, but don't worry, this is a super easy thing to do, even though it sounds really complicated. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna pull the black away because we'll do something with that in just a minute so that we can put this on like a different color shirt, because right now the white part is all see-through. And if you're not sure if it's see-through, you can do this a couple ways. You can either turn your grids on, and if you can see your grids through it, it means that it's going to cut around it and there's no vinyl that goes in that space. Or you can change the color of your canvas And by doing that, you'll also see through your design. So it's just kind of up to you in whatever way works best for you. I don't really love having the grids on, they hurt my eyes. So we're gonna go ahead and move the cow out of the way. And the next thing we're gonna do is grab these white dots and move those out of the way. We're gonna work in our pink section first. Now, this is gonna waste quite a bit of vinyl, and there's really no need for it to do that because it's going to cut these sections pretty far apart. So because I don't want it to do that, what I want to do is I'm going to ungroup this section. And now you'll see we have all of these separate pieces. You'll see those over here in your layers panel, and you'll notice that these are lined up all the way to the left and not just slightly over to the right, and that kind of lets you know that they're not grouped anymore. So the first thing that I'm going to do is select my bow section of my little headband, and I'm going to use the attach option. Now what attach does is it tells Design Space not to move those pieces and to cut them exactly where I have them. It's like taking a piece of Scotch tape and taping something to a piece of paper and telling it that's where it goes, don't move it. We're also going to do the same thing for our little pink flower. We're going to attach that as well. Now these are going to move as two individual pieces now, but that's okay, we want them to, because I'm going to be able to cut the flower inside of that headband area now and save myself some HTV. Now with the white dots, because these go on to our bow, what we can do with this is again use the ungroup option. Now this little white dot is actually the center of your pink flower, so you don't need to worry about that. Again, you can cut that one separately, so it's a lot easier to deal with. I'm going to move this stuff over just a little bit so that we can make sure that we're only going to select these white dots. I'm just going to draw that square and touch all the white dots. And then for this one, I'm going to show you another option and a way of holding these together. Your other option would be to weld them or unite them. By doing that, it's going to hold them all in place, and it's going to actually remove a lot of your lines of your layers panel by using weld. Now keep in mind, weld is something that can't be undone once you've saved your design. But because I already have this image in my uploads, if I need to change it, it's very easy to do. I can just put it in from my uploads. So now you'll see that our white dots are all one piece with the exception of the center of our flower. Now we're gonna kind of talk about this black portion. So this black portion, I'm gonna put this on a different color shirt, and I want my cow to be traditional black and white. So in order for this to happen, I need to actually create the white section for Design Space to know to cut it out. Now a lot of people will say, oh, well, you just cut the black part twice, once on black and once on white, and you weed the parts out that you don't want. But that actually wastes a